Eyes of Wakanda has secretly released on Disney+. This was supposed to come out a few weeks ago. Now it's moved to August 1st, and that was kind of a last-minute change, so I was not very confident in the show. So, how did it deliver? Let's talk about it. And what I like most about this show is that each individual episode is in a different time period. The first episode is all the way in the BCs, and then the fourth episode is in like 1863 or something. So I just liked how we get to see all these different time periods in Wakanda, to see what like each different time period is like before we actually get to the event of Black Panther. We get to see all these different time periods. We get to see how this technology in Wakanda has advanced over time, what wars they fought, what different things got in their way to get to Black Panther's events. And I just liked how we took things back in time. And just the short stories. Each episode is 30 minutes long. It is an anthology show, more on that later, but I just liked each story that they were trying to tell. One story has a certain character that pops up that is my favorite part of the show. The fourth episode is my favorite just because it tackles a storyline that I always love, even if the story's bad. If they have that concept in there, it always makes me love that story. And episode 4 had that concept, and it was a good episode. So I just liked each individual story. Sure, there's stronger ones over some others, but each individual story had something to offer that was new compared to all the other episodes, and just introduced a new idea that was in Wakanda before, expanding on this world of Wakanda even more. Which leads me to my next point of we're just learning more about Wakanda thanks to this show. Each individual episode tackles a different time period, and in those time periods, we get to see what Wakanda was like all the way back then. So we're just learning more about the history of Wakanda because of it. Of where their ancestors were all the way back in the BCs, of where they are at in the 1800s. We get to see all these different time periods, only expanding more on the history of Wakanda. With certain stuff happening, just expanding more of Wakanda. The show's job was supposed to be the history of Wakanda, of where it was all the way back then, and the show did its job. And for the most part, I did enjoy this show. Like I mentioned, I did enjoy going back in time and just the individual stories that it had to offer. But I do have problems. But real quick, if you want to help me reach my goal of 1K by the end of the year, consider subscribing. Let's continue. And it's just simply forgettable. There's nothing in here that if you do not have Disney Plus, you need to go rush and buy Disney Plus just to see this. None of that. It's a very forgettable show. I mentioned everything I liked about it, but all of that is still just forgettable. Yes, I do like certain elements in each episode, but it's all just forgettable. This show does not need to exist at all, and it's just here because Disney Plus, but this Disney Plus has more purpose. It does not affect the major MCU, which you can appreciate for that. But because of that also, it's just simply forgettable. There's nothing in here that stands out, and it's just mainly forgettable. And I just simply don't like anthology stories that much. If a show does it really well, there are a few exceptions where I do like anthology. Now this one almost did it well, but a lot of it, I was just wishing that this could have been one long story instead of just anthology episodes. Because if it was just one long story, I feel like they could have done more of that. But since each episode is just an anthology story, I think it kind of limited back of what stories they could tell. Now, if each episode was 2 hours long, that's different because you could tell a whole movie in that episode. I'm not saying it should have been 2 hours long. I'm saying if it was that long, they could have done a lot in each episode. But since they're only forced to make it in the 30-minute runtime and an anthology story, I feel like it kind of cuts the story off when it's just becoming good. And I'm just simply not a big Wakanda fan. I'm not a big Black Panther fan. One of my biggest hot takes is that I'm not the biggest fan of the Black Panther movie. I think it's good, but not the best MCU film. If you watch my ranking, it's pretty low. I still like the movie, I'm just not a Wakanda guy. I never liked that world or anything. Now, that's not one of the reasons why I don't like the movie. It's one of them, but not the main reason. But I'm just not a big fan of Wakanda. Nothing in the MCU has made me like Wakanda. Yes, their technology is huge, but that's about it. I'm just not a big fan of Wakanda, so having a history thing of Wakanda is cool that they're willing to go back in time like that, but does it interest me because it's Wakanda? I'm not interested in Wakanda. So when I heard they were making the show, I was not at all excited for it because I had no interest in Wakanda at all. Now the show is enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but it's forgettable and nothing in here truly stands out. Is it worth watching? Technically no, because you don't need to watch it, but if you do end up watching it, it's not bad. It's enjoyable, but extremely forgettable. It does nothing to harm the MCU or help the MCU in any favor. It's just a show that exists to explore more of Wakanda, but it's just forgettable in the long run. But anyways, if you like this video, maybe these ones on the side interest you too. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.